Hey, how are you? First of all, it's a big crazy hair day. It just is. I promised myself I was going to be low maintenance this summer. And so mostly it's low hair maintenance. I'm not going to lie. So there's no product in my hair today. This is how my hair dries when I don't put anything in it. And it is frizzy and it's everywhere. So what I wanted to share with you today was what I've been doing to kind of compensate for the fact that the temperature is going up. And I realized I hadn't been really, and I do this every year. I don't know if you do this, but I had not been changing my face routine. So I'd still been layering on product and I've been putting on too much foundation. And the next thing I know, halfway through the day, it's like it's all, I felt like one of those scary like horror movies or something. It was terrible. And so I was constantly like, blotting. And no amount of blotting papers is going to take care of too much product that you put on your face. And then boom, it's hot and it all melts off. So here's how I've been adjusting. I still have been using my favorite concealer. I still have been using my favorite foundation. Yes, I just did air quotes. And then from there, I have been kind of adjusting what else I do. I'm 40, so I do like to set my concealer with a little bit of powder, not too much because it settles in all of the creepy parts. But let me show you what I've been doing. First thing, nice and hydrated, SPF, always, whatever you like. I've been using some Korean stuff and I love it. If you want to know more about that, let me know down below and I will show you my Korean skincare yada. Okay, so from then on, the first thing I do is I have been using, and this is what I've just been doing, and you'll see it, it's what I have on my face today. This is the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. I'm wearing N15, and that's what I use just underneath the eyes. Sometimes I feel like I didn't conceal enough because I still have some darkness there. Around the corners of my nose where I have some pretty severe redness. I do have a couple of red spots from some hormonal acne around here, and then I have this kind of dark spot. It doesn't actually cover it up all the way, and if I were to like cake it on, it would, but that kind of defeats the purpose of makeup that won't just melt off your face. So I just kind of dab it here and kind of like, let's make it look less like a big brown spot than it really looks like on its own. And then I use my beauty blender and I just, kind of dab it all over and blend it in and it looks great. My skin looks like, it goes from looking like death on a cracker to like mostly awake and ready to go. Now, for the rest of my skin, like up here and, other places that I haven't completely concealed, this is one thing that I just started trying for the last week and a half, and it works really well. And I've been using this with so many other combinations, and I know a lot of people speak really highly of this, and I love it. I've used it with so many different combinations. It's the Cover FX Custom Cover Drops, and I love this. I have the lightest shade in neutral, which is N20. I wish it came just a smidge lighter because I really am an N15, but this is close, and I'm sure I'm going to get a little bit darker this summer. Heaven forbid. Me and my SPF 50 are good friends, and I constantly reapply, and I wear a lot of makeup with, anyway, we won't get into that. But I'm hoping I don't get darker, but I might by the end of the summer match this really well. All right, so what I have been doing, I've been mixing it in with foundation, I've been mixing it in with sunscreen, I've been mixing it in with just about everything, and it works really well. They don't lie. It mixes with anything. But I've been wanting, instead of using like a ton of drops, I used one drop with 2 itty bitty drops of the Tarte Maracuja Oil. This is like a little teeny tiny sample size. And normally I just use it on my like cuticles, so I don't go through a lot of it. And I thought, well, what happens if I use it as a face oil? So many people really like it as a face oil. So I did that, 2 itty bitty drops, 1 drop with the custom cover drops, mix it up, and then just put it all over the rest of my face. And all of a sudden, I mean, you can still see my freckles, you can still see my skin. And then of course, Beauty Blender, like, pat it in, make it look like it all blends together blurry nicely. And guess what? I really liked it. It looked like me, but still with skin, not covered up, because what I had been doing had been going for much more full coverage, because you can totally get it with this. But now that it's warmer, it was melting and not looking good, and halfway through the day, I look like a freak show. All right, so in the summer, I also like to have a nice shine, not greasy shine to my skin, but I like it to look glowy. So one of the things I've really been enjoying, and I've had this, I don't know, at least half a year now, has been the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Power in Diffused Light. And this is the one that has that slightly yellow undertone to help combat redness, because I do get a little bit red right around in here. So I'll just take, you know, a little bit like this, and then I'll just kind of, instead of swirling it on, I just kind of lightly tap it on where I need it, especially around my nose. That's where I get a lot of redness. Across my forehead, a little bit under here, and, you know, not a lot. I don't want to end up looking cakey, and I don't want it to settle in the crepey lines. But what I like about this product is it ends up making my pores look smaller, making some of that extra redness go away. But because it does have that ambient lighting, some people use it as a highlighting powder, but it's not shimmery or anything. It just makes my face look well lit, shall we say. All right, so after that, I usually go for just a smidge of contouring, and I have really been loving this Marc Jacobs Dream Filter. I have the lightest one in 20, and it basically is just a pan of two pans, contour and highlight. And what I found out was the highlight, you know, I can basically do this, and oh, where did it go? It's not really a highlighter for me. So in a pinch, if I'm not putting powder all over my face, like with the Hourglass stuff, I'll just use a small fluffy eye brush and just put it on underneath my concealer and not dust up the rest of my face and go. So that's how I've been using this. But the contour is really gorgeous. What I like about this is that it's pretty. It's a little bit on the warm side, but look how easy it actually blends out. It's like, ooh. And so if I get it in the wrong spot or I'm not careful, because sometimes I'm in a rush, I won't lie, I've got 2 kids, I'm like, gots to go. I'll put it on and I'm like, oh, it's a little too far down. And so I'll just start to like blend it up. And the next thing I know, I'm good. Or, oh, I got it too over here. I'll just kind of brush it off and then just start, you know, like chiseling up more over here. We're good to go. This stuff blends like a dream. I love it. Truly, truly, truly. Highly recommend it. The reason I got this instead of one of those other massive palettes that has like, you know, 8 different shades was because I'm not going to use all those 8 shades. There's going to be some that are way too dark for me. Some that are, you know, going to be like this, where they're as light as they come, and they're basically just going to be like a face powder for me. So I liked this because I could use both of them, and they're 2 huge pans. It'll take me a while to use up the product. So I like it. It was a little spendy. It was close to 50 bucks, but I like it. All right. And then after that, I put on a little blush. And the blushes I've been loving recently, well, I've liked them for a long time, but I haven't mentioned them to you, are the ones, they're on the bottom row here. I have a lot of Z palettes where I depot everything because I'm sick of having like a million little tiny guys running around. But these ones down here are from Makeup Geek. This one is Honeymoon, this one is Romance, this one is Hanky Panky, and this one is, I think, Head Over Heels. Is that what this one is? Yeah, it's Head Over Heels. But the one I'm wearing today is this one here, this peachy one called Romance. And it's just like really pretty, you know, it has a little bit of sheen to it, not too much. And let me see, let me also swatch Hanky Panky, which is really pretty, you know. They're just like super pigmented, you know. So I have to be careful that I don't end up getting too much on my brush. And then, and what I like to do is usually do 2 at a time. So I'll use these 2 together and I'll use these 2 together. And that's what I'll do. Oh, by the way, this is a Clinique. This is a Too Faced Chocolate Soleil. This I think is the Lancome, and this is a L'Oreal. And then these are both, this is a MAC Pressed Pigment and Naked, and I pressed that one myself. And this is a Lancome 24-hour something type of eyeshadow in Everlasting Peach. And I use them both as highlighters sometimes on the tops of my cheekbones, just because, yeah. Anyway, so I'll put that on, and then on top for a highlight that I really have been loving recently, super easy to put on, and I think it's totally worth the hype. I know it's kind of spendy and some people think it's not worth it. It's by RMS Beauty, and it's their Living Luminizer. Now, what I love about this is that it's almost goof-proof. And it's basically, it's coconut oil based, but it never feels, unless you put too much on, and I never feel like I put too much on. It never feels greasy on, and I have to be careful since I have longer nails. I end up gouging it, so I end up just using my beauty blender, and I'll just, you know, pick up, that's more than I needed. But then you see a little stripe there, and it blends beautifully. And normally I'll just pick up some like this, and I'll just like tap, 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 down here, a little bit here on my Cupid's bow. I probably have lipstick here now. And then a little bit on the insides, like right here in the inner corner. Because sometimes if I get too sparkly eyeshadow right there, I do sometimes. I feel like it's just a little much for me. And that's where I use it. And I find that it goes, especially with the Beauty Blender, so quick and easy. And I've had this now for almost a year, and I'm not even halfway done with it. It was, what, $35, $36? I'll put it down below, but it's great. I love it. And so my skin ends up looking, you know, the glow is not sparkly. It's not glittery. It's not too much. The blush is just right. And my skin, hopefully, you know, looks like skin. Not too much of anything. You know, if there's any imperfections, it's in my skin. It's not in the makeup. And then after all of that, I do set with this, it's a hydration spray. It's from Jane Iredale, and it's the Pommisst. And then I just give it a little, so if I have too much, I think I just inhaled that. Wouldn't that be just like me? But then it just kind of helps if there's too much powder or anything. It just makes it look like there's not. And it takes away that powdery look anywhere. And I can even do it on top of mascara, and it doesn't end up making it cuckoo crazy. So that's what I've been using for my, you know, face, not my eyes, just my face. And then in the summertime, I also like to wear sheer lipsticks so that it lets my natural lips show through. Now, I do wear mattes. I do wear fully opaque lipsticks, but I wear less of them in the summertime because it's also, I feel like I can wear lipsticks that end up being applied without a mirror. That's a big deal for me too, because sometimes I'm just in a rush. Summer's crazy. I don't know about for you, but for me, summer is crazy. So yeah. Hey, thanks for watching. And that's just how I've been doing my makeup recently, and it keeps it from doing that whole crazy melt off, you know, scary thing. All right, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.